Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for Diddy Kong or Jigglypuff, and like and subscribe for a better hand next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Luxord from Kingdom Hearts, one of the most mysterious members of Organization XIII. Here's what we know. He likes cards, he has time powers, and apparently his name is Luxord, not Luxord? That threw me for the biggest loop when I first heard it pronounced. He's a luck man. Make it Luxord.
Luck be a lady tonight.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to throw cards at people. It's kind of a gambit, but I think it might pay off. Next, we need to kick people out of the fight. Who wants to fight Mickey Mouse? Not me. Finally, we need the textbook organization powers, namely teleportation. If you join the Nobody Union, teleportation is one of the perks. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Charisma will be number 1. You're a charming rapscallion, it's why they always send you to parlay with the pirates. Dexterity next, sleight of hand is important when handling cards. It's why the abilities are called sleights in Chain of Memories, the Kingdom Hearts card battle game that Luxord wasn't in. Intelligence after that, you know more than you're letting on. I think maybe he doesn't and he's just good at bluffing. Follow that with wisdom. You need to read everyone else's poker face. Constitution is a bit low. You refuse to play with stocks and switch it to timed mode. Truly, Luxord is the ultimate villain. We'll dump strength. The only thing you lift is cards, and cards aren't very heavy. Luxord is the nobody of someone whose name is an anagram for Luxord without the X. I'm guessing dual or, because why be subtle? Anyway, Reborn. They get +2 to one stat, +1 to another. Get your dexterity and charisma both to 16. Those are nice stats for you. Your deathless nature means that you don't need to eat, drink, breathe, or sleep, obviously. You just need to game. My organization name is Gaxmer. Your knowledge from a past life will come in handy, giving you a d6 to add to an ability check, and amount of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus. It's going to be really good later. A little card up your sleeve. You can also grab 2 skills as a dead guy and 2 more skills from your background. I don't care where you grab them, just make sure that you have sleight of hand, insight, arcana, and perception. I think sleight of hand and perception make the most sense for a gambler background though. We'll get 3 more skills of our choice as a bard, like deception, intimidation, and history. All the skills is part of why we're going bard instead of chronologist, but also some other stuff we're gonna grab later. Stick around. Bardic inspiration lets you give friendly creatures a d6 to add to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, making you a great guy to hang around. Probably why Xehanort picks you instead of Vexen. You get cantrips and spells as well. Vicious Mockery forces a wisdom saving throw on a creature, dealing a d4 of psychic damage and giving them disadvantage on their next weapon attack, taunting them so hard it deals damage. Prestidigitation does a bunch of small magic stuff, but conjuring a tiny object to your hand seems the most in character for Luxord, literally putting a card up your sleeve. For first level spells, Charm Person forces a wisdom saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they're charmed by you for an hour, helping you get some pirates on your side. Silvery Barbs gives a creature disadvantage on an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw as a reaction. If that makes them fail, you can give another creature within 30 feet of you advantage on their next ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. It's so good, it's basically cheating. Bane forces a charisma saving throw on up to 3 creatures, giving them a d4 penalty to attack rolls and saving throws if they fail, making them a little less lucky. You can even pair it with Silvery Barbs to make someone more likely to fail. A poker player has to love a good pair. Silent Image makes an illusory image that fits into a 15-foot cube. It can't make any noise, but it could bamboozle a teenager away that's attacking you, especially if they have low intelligence. Second level bards get a Song of Rest, giving allies an extra d6 of healing on a short rest, probably some Kenny Rogers. I could see Luxord loving the 1st edition in 5th edition. You're a jack of all trades, letting you add half your proficiency bonus to any skills you're not proficient with, filling in the very few gaps you have. For this level spell, Identify tells you what a magical item is and how many charges it has left. Gotta know not to touch the cursed pirate gold, even if those pieces kind of look like poker chips. Third level bards can get even more skills if you choose to be a lore bard. We will, like acrobatics, persuasion, and investigation, making jack of all trades a little worse, but cashing that in isn't a big deal. 2 skills get even better with expertise, doubling your proficiency bonus with them. We'll start with deception and sleight of hand. Those are the most useful skills for playing canasta. You also get cutting words, letting you use your bardic inspiration die to reduce an enemy's ability check, attack roll, or damage roll as a reaction. It's kind of like Silvery Barbs and lets you give your opponent worse cards with taunting. You can also learn 2nd level spells like Mirror Image, creating 3 illusory duplicates that can take hits for you. When someone attacks you, roll a d20. On a 6 or higher, they hit one of 3 duplicates. On an 8 or higher, they hit one of 2 duplicates. And on an 11 or higher, they hit your last duplicate. These extra cards last for a minute and do not require your concentration. It's just some solid defense. Put some of those cards down in defense mode. you know? 4th level bards get an ability score improvement. Start working on your charisma, that's all your spells and several of your skills. Speaking of spells, Kinetic Jaunt adds 10 feet to your movement speed. You don't provoke opportunity attacks and can move through the space of another creature without treating them as difficult terrain. Pair this with Mirror Image and you can slide in and out without worrying about getting hit. 5th level bards get a Font of Inspiration, letting your inspiration die recover on short rests instead of long rests, and those bump up to d8s for words that cut deeper. You can also learn 3rd level spells. Major Image creates an illusion that fits in a 20-foot cube and can't be seen through without an intelligence check. So, Sora's not going to be able to see through it. 6th level lore bards get additional magical secrets, letting you learn 2 spells from any spell list. Catapult lets you throw an object weighing 5 pounds or less at a creature, forcing a dexterity saving throw on them, and dealing 3d8 bludgeoning damage if they fail. Cards definitely don't weigh more than 5 pounds, and Prestidigitation gives you unlimited ammo. Blink lets you move in and out of the material plane at the end of your turn, rolling a d20. On an 11 or higher, you spend time in between turns out of this world. It does not require concentration, so mix it with Mirror Image to conjure a bunch of decoy cards, and maybe just not even be in the material plane to get hit. It's kind of a gamble, but the odds are definitely in your favor. 7th level bards can learn 4th level spells. Dimension Door lets you teleport 500 feet away with an action, and even bring another willing creature with you, for a Corridor of Darkness to take you away if the odds are against you. 8th level bards get another ability score improvement, cap off your charisma for maximum bamboozlery. Speaking of bamboozlery, the Confusion spell confuses creatures in a 10-foot radius that fail a wisdom saving throw. Each turn roll a d10. On a 1, they move in a random direction. On a 2 through 6, they spend their turn doing nothing. On a 7 through 8, they have to attack a random creature, and on a 9 through 10, they can act normally. So pair this with Blink and Mirror Image. Then there will be a 60% chance that they do nothing on their turn, a 50% chance you're in limbo anyway and can't be hit, and 3 illusory duplicates if you're on the same plane. That's a solid hand. 9th level bards can learn 5th level spells. Mislead makes you invisible and creates an illusory duplicate of yourself when you cast the spell. The invisibility ends early if you make an attack or cast a spell, but the duplicate hangs out for an hour depending on your concentration. You can move it around, see through its senses. Honestly, there's no real reason for you to attend organization meetings yourself. Just send an illusion instead. 10th level bard is a big one. Your inspiration die turn into d10s. You get expertise in 2 more skills like perception and insight, also good skills for Pinochle. But the real fun comes from 2 more magical secrets like banishment to force a charisma saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they're sent to a harmless demi-plane for up to a minute depending on your concentration. Kick the mouse out of the fight. Nobody wants to fight a mouse. Fortune's Favor gives you a d20 you can use to reroll an ability check, saving throw, or attack roll sometime in the next hour. It's exclusive to Chronergist wizards and bards. The bard list can be anything. It could even be Chronergy. That's what Luxord should be. 11th level bards can learn 6th level spells. I don't really want any, so just grab Sending from the 3rd level, letting you communicate with creatures on the same plane as you, even different planes with a 5% failure rate. Send your Darkness Daddy a text and let him know how things are going with Jack Sparrow. 12th level bards get another ability score improvement or feat. The Lucky Feat will give you 3 luck die you can use to reroll an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, or give to an enemy attacking you to give them disadvantage. If that sounds familiar to Fortune's Favor, it should. It's just 3 times better. Now I think it's time we get some powers from the Darkness Daddy, jumping over to Hexblade Warlock super duper quick. Hexblade works best because Xehanort really likes swords. He lives in the Sword Cemetery, the Swordmatary. You get Hexblade's Curse, letting you pick a creature to absolutely wreck, dealing extra damage to them equal to your proficiency bonus, critically hitting them on a 19 or 20, and you heal an amount equal to your charisma modifier plus your warlock level when you kill them, which you will pretty fast. Since this is the level, we're getting some more aggressive cards with the cantrip Eldritch Blast. That fires 3 ranged spell attacks that deal 1d10 force damage each of which get to add extra damage from your Hexblade's Curse. It's kind of busted. Sword Burst will surround you with cards, forcing a dexterity saving throw on creatures within 5 feet of you, dealing 3d6 force damage to those that fail. It's not as good as Eldritch Blast unless you're surrounded, but if you're surrounded, you should run away. You need to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. For 1st level spells, not super important. Shield adds 5 to your AC as a reaction if you'd rather use that than Silvery Barbs, and Hex curses a creature, adding a d6 of necrotic damage to your attacks while giving them disadvantage on ability checks of a certain type. It's actually super duper good with Hexblade's Curse and Eldritch Blast, even though it's only a 1st level spell. Put some darkness on those cards and get really good at dueling. 2nd level warlocks get invocations to make them better at dueling, like Agonizing Blast, letting you add your charisma modifier to the damage of your Eldritch Blast attacks, which means that each beam against a Hexblade's Cursed target will deal 1d6 plus 1d10 plus 11 by the end of things, and you can spam 4 beams per round as well. It's busted. Armor of Shadows is less busted, letting you cast mage armor at will for your AC equal to 13 plus your dexterity modifier, but the cloak looks cool, so that's neat. Back to Bard now. 13th level bards can learn 7th level spells like Mordenkainen's Sword. It summons a floating sword that you can move 20 feet as your bonus action and make a melee spell attack with that deals 3d10 force damage. It requires your concentration and doesn't scale up when you cast it at higher levels. A 6th level spiritual weapon would do basically the same thing, with with 3d8 plus your charisma modifier, but wouldn't require your concentration. And it doesn't even specifically have to be a sword, you could shape it to be whatever you want. So when we get 2 more magical secrets at Bard level 14, make sure you grab Spiritual Weapon from the Cleric list to throw around some cards of force as a bonus action. Spam 4 Eldritch Blast cards with your action and concentrate on any spell you like. Hex would add a d6 of necrotic damage to all of those attacks if you just want to ruin people. Temporal Shunt will be our other spell, forcing a wisdom saving throw on a creature, making an attack roll, or casting a spell and banishing it to another point in time, specifically the start of its next turn. This has to be a cantrip, right? Since there's a saving throw they could pass. Banishing them means nobody can hit them until they come back. It's basically the defensive buff of Blink. Oh no, it's a 5th level spell? Ew, don't use this. This is worse than True Strike. At least True Strike doesn't waste a 5th level slot. Oh well, you could waste the enemy's spell slot. Yeah, champ, ever heard of counter spell? It's a 3rd level spell and automatically shuts down spells of 9th level when paired with glibness. Grab counter spell instead at home. I just have to give Luxord time stuff. Lore bards at least get peerless skill here, letting you add your bardic inspiration die to your ability checks, mixing nicely with the lucky feat and all your other extra skills and expertises. Gosh, Temporal Shunt, what a bad spell. 15th level bards can learn 8th level spells like glibness, which sets the minimum you can roll on a charisma check to 15, followed by all your modifiers. If you had counterspell, this would let you shut down any spell you want with a 3rd level slot. But even if you don't have counterspell, it makes you a delightful charmer. Your bardic inspiration die also bumps up to a d12 here for more cutting words and peerless skill. 16th level bards get another ability score improvement, bump your dexterity for now for better AC in the organization approved black robes. 17th level bards can learn 9th level spells. True Polymorph lets you force a wisdom saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they're turned into another creature equal to or less than their current challenge rating, or turned into an object. If you turn them into a creature and keep the spell going for a full hour-long duration without dropping concentration, they stay that way. My guess is you want to turn them into dice. You could also turn an object into a creature of challenge rating 9 or lower, making some of your own nobodies that are all bouncy and weird. Our capstone is the 18th level of Bard for 2 more magical secrets. Far Step lets you teleport 60 feet as a bonus action every round for a minute. Mix it with Mirror Image and Blink, and every match against you is going to be going to time. Speaking of time, there isn't a spell that makes you win a fight that takes too long, other than Wish. Wish is a cop-out because it can be literally anything. Make your wish that anyone who fights you for 10 rounds automatically loses. Maybe. There's going to be some severe costs to casting Wish to do anything other than cast a spell of 8th level or lower, so it can be a bit of a gamble, and you would never gamble. I'm kidding, you would. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you can play your cards in attack mode with Eldritch Blast and an 8th level spiritual weapon, giving you 4d10 plus 4d8 plus 25 damage per round, or around 61 with median rolls. Since that doesn't require your concentration, you can also have another buff up of your choice, including 2 other buffs like Blink and Mirror Image, which will make you a pain in the butt to hit. Finally, you have a ton of skills, and you aren't even bad at the skills you're bad at. For weaknesses, if someone can hit you, they don't have to hit you a lot, since you only have a little over 100 HP depending on how you rolled. Your buffs are also going to take a lot of time to apply, and time might not be on your side. Finally, there are some spells you could take to do even better, like Foresight to have permanent advantage on everything, and Counterspell to do what Temporal Shunt does, but you know, good. So just pick better spells and you'll have an unbeatable deck. It might not really be gambling since you'll be so consistent, it's basically cheating. Just watch out for teenagers who can deal a lot of damage, or your time could run out pretty quickly. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for Nathan Drake or Cole McGrath, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.